I want to put this video out to Congressman Mike Coffman. Going to tag your name in the title of the video and in a tag below the video here, sir, because I wanted to get this video out or gain your attention to where you could see this video. I wanted to put out something here that might help get the ball rolling in the direction of progress when it comes to the Department of Veterans Affairs recognizing, or at least the lower level of Department of Veterans Affairs, being educated on what they're now calling chronic multi-symptom illness, which was previously they were calling undiagnosed illness. They continuously change the name and, do a lot of things to throw people off. And that's one of my main reasons for coming here on YouTube, was to finally get this stuff out and start trying to inform the veterans out there who are getting crippled and getting messed up, who've been affected by this stuff. And a lot of these guys never even knew what happened, never knew what happened. One of Saddam Hussein's quotes is from 1994, October 6, 1994, and you can look it up here on the internet. He made a direct quote: "Our striking hand will reach America, Britain, and Saudi Arabia before they even know it hit them." Well, that quote was 2 days before an operation known as Operation Vigilant Warrior 1. They hit the ground on October 8, 1994. That was a direct death threat to Operation Vigilant Warrior 1. But that quote means a lot because, as he said, our striking arm will reach America, Britain, and Saudi Arabia before they even know it hit them. Meaning that exposure to come back to the United States, health starts deteriorating. Anyway, don't want to get into that part. I just want to throw that out there. But the real main reason why I just want to put out this video was to try to get initiate a small step that I think would get the ball rolling within the Department of Veterans Affairs, and it would get the lower level echelon of doctors, nurses, etc. more familiar with the chronic multi-symptom illness. And this step I wanted to ask, maybe you could consider, would be trying to find out how, if there's a way that you could initiate group sessions within the Department of Veterans Affairs for Gulf War illness or Gulf War syndrome veterans. Find out if there's a way they can get a doctor, a medical doctor, of course, because remember, again, they'll put a psychologist in there and try to say it's all in your head. That's one of the things. But see if they can get a medical doctor in the group session, have an open group session where the veterans can show up in the room, talk amongst one another, interact amongst one another, talk about the signs and symptoms they have, not feel alienated, which the VA has been doing for years. And by the way, Congressman, I don't think this will be much of a problem for the VA to do this, because the Department of Veterans Affairs actually has PTSD group sessions. They have group sessions where many veterans show up on a certain day and they have a psychologist in there. And, so they do this. But when it comes to the chronic multi-symptom illness veterans or Gulf War syndrome veterans, they spread us apart. And like you were seeing right here in the debate that you went through with the doctor who exposed the cover-ups, they use us as numbers. They mix up an Iraqi freedom veteran who was exposed to smoke or some what is it called, smoke pits or burn pits over there, and they mix them in with Gulf War veterans from 1991 or 90 who've been exposed to the what they would like to call pesticides or nerve agents. They mix together the numbers. Like myself, I'm from after the 90-91 era. However, they consider me to be in Gulf War I with the guys. They put me as a number within, all together. Because, see, they know that we were affected too. I wasn't near Comacia, but they try and put us, excuse me, tickle my throat. But they try to loop us together with the 90-91 guys because they don't want to know that there's guys after 90-91 who've been affected by this. They try to keep it all quiet. Another thing, sir, Operation Desert Storm didn't end until 30th November of 1995. That's another thing they're not going to tell you. But more proof of the things that DOD and Department of Veterans Affairs has been covering up for a long time. So, in other words, the 30th November of 1995, they act like that's 90-91. So, as you can see, the number thing, how I talk about they use this as numbers. But I think if you try to find out a way where you can initiate these group sessions, we'll be able to get enough veterans who will be able to gather together, come into a group session, and it'd be very helpful to talk amongst one another, not feel alienated, know what the symptoms are, help one another how to deal with these issues. And on the same level, it also keeps the lower level doctors, which if this is a medical doctor who comes in as well and talks to each veteran, and finds out, symptoms, etc., what they do to deal with it, and how they cope. It'll do a lot to help out the lower level of doctors in the VA to help progress. So I don't understand really how it could actually hurt the situation. If anything, it's going to bring it, into full effect, full circle. And honestly, sir, believe it or not, I don't think there's a whole lot there's probably not as many veterans out there who are affected by this as people may think. The evidence that I've seen, because I haven't ran into a whole lot of them. And most of the people who have been affected by it, it's easy for us to see one another. It's easy to tell. So it's not like there's going to be, millions or, multi-hundreds of thousands. The saddest part about it is, sir, I think a lot of those people have already passed away, unfortunately. And that's another one of the reasons why, I decided to come on here and start talking about it. Because a lot of people were thinking I was crazy on this when I first came on here, but a lot of people now are finding out and starting to know that, that it's real. So I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your considerations. And I think if we were able to get a group session going in each individual areas of the VA, which again, I don't think it would cost a whole lot of money, because a doctor just coming into a room and designating a room for a group to show up, I think that'll get the ball rolling to finally keep VA again. It will also keep the lower level of the VA straight as well, and it'll instead of trickling down, it'll trickle up now. So appreciate your consideration, and hopefully maybe we could institute something like that. Thank you, sir.